Welcome to Philosophy in Pajamas podcasts.
It's good to be here. Usually we're, charting these huge geopolitical shifts or some complex science, but today is, well, it's different.
It's very different. We're diving into this really epic domestic communication breakdown.
That's total breakdown.
Yeah, we've got these personal notes from Rushik, who was just locked in this battle, a battle with a chef over one single thing, oil.
And it wasn't just a disagreement. It became a war, really.
A war fought teaspoon by teaspoon, apparently, and every conventional tactic failed, which is what makes this so fascinating. He was desperately searching for a shortcut.
It's a perfect case study, really. It's about the psychology of, those really entrenched beliefs and why people resist change, even when it seems so simple.
Like just use less oil.
Exactly. We're basically looking at the anatomy of a complete information deadlock, not a digital one, but a culinary one. And it begs the question, how much absurdity does it take to finally cut through that noise?
Well, if you have ever tried every logical, emotional, and authoritative angle you can think of to change someone's mind,
Yeah.
you're about to see just how far one person had to go.
Get ready for food that was described as, and I love this phrase,
What's the best?
less chewable and more negotiable.
I mean, when you have to negotiate with your dinner, you know there's a problem.
That phrase tells you everything, doesn't it? It's not a meal, it's a diplomatic incident you have to survive.
So let's get into it. The core of the problem, the
Yeah.
antagonist, if you will, the oil.
Well, this is where it gets into philosophy. The cook apparently has what is described as an epic romance with oil.
A romance. It's not an ingredient, it's a belief system.
It's an emotional commitment. That's the key. In the cook's mind, oil is not just fat. Oil is love. Oil is strength.
And so dry food.
Dry food is punishment. It's neglect. So when you ask her, hey, can you use a little less oil? What she's actually hearing is, could you please love me less? Could you show less care?
Which is an impossible request. Of course, she's going to ignore it. Rushik details all these attempts. Gentle requests, clear explanations.
I think he even tried drawing diagrams in the air.
He did. And how does she respond to all this perfectly rational feedback?
With deep respect, I imagine.
Yes, nodding with deep respect like a monk receiving ancient wisdom. She completely takes it on board, seems to understand.
Okay,
And then she goes back to the kitchen and promptly baptizes the vegetable.
baptizes them. It's a ritual. It's a reaffirmation of her core belief, no matter what logic was just presented to her.
So with the philosophy established, let's talk about the physical evidence, the sensory experience of this cuisine.
The phenomenology of consumption, yes. The unavoidable, glistening reality on the plate.
Glistening is the word. Every single dish arrived, and I quote, as if it has been moisturized.
That is just a terrifyingly brilliant description. It's not just about taste, it's a visual assault.
And the details are amazing. The dal, the lentil soup was so shiny he could see his own face in it.
And the sabzi, the vegetables, had a literal halo. A halo of oil. Even the salad wasn't safe.
The salad was emotionally slippery.
Emotionally slippery. What does that even mean? I love it.
It's so good. I think my favorite detail, though, was the fear that the plate itself was so slick, it might just slide off the table and escape.
The food is actively trying to flee the scene. This isn't cooking, it's an oil management failure. The meal is, again, negotiable, something to be survived.
There's that analogy in the notes that really clarifies the power dynamic on the plate that helped me get it.
Oh, yes. The oil is the driver.
Right. And the vegetables.
The vegetables are just vehicles. They're sitting there helplessly soaked, wondering how life went wrong. It's perfect. If oil were confidence.
This food would walk into a room without knocking.
Exactly. It's utterly self-assured. And that confidence comes from how it's measured. It's not in spoons or cups.
No, the scale is completely different.
It's measured in things like courage, faith, and ambition. The amount of oil used is somewhere between bravery and recklessness.
So when your measurement system is that emotional, of course, the physical result is going to be reckless by any normal standard.
Which brings us to the campaign of failed communication. This wasn't just one attempt. This was a systematic effort.
A truly comprehensive failure. Okay, so first up, gently, clearly diagrams.
As we know, that was met with nods of deep respect and then an immediate vegetable baptism. So, fail.
Total fail. So then they escalated. Strategy 2. Medical authority.
The trump card.
You'd think. The cook was told point blank the doctor advised less oil. This should have been checkmate.
But her psychological defense was just masterful.
She looked concerned, absolutely. But the result was the same amount of oil, only this time it was poured with sympathy.
You see, she integrated the new data, the health concern, without ever compromising her core belief. The sympathy was for the user's poor health, which, in her mind, obviously required the same amount of strength-giving oil.
She showed concern with her facial expression, not with the measuring cup. The belief system was untouchable.
It's brilliant, in a way. So what was next, after authority failed?
Pure logic. The argument was made that all this oil actually hides the real flavor of the vegetables.
A very solid culinary argument.
And her countermove was honestly genius. She heard hiding flavor and thought the problem was not enough coverage.
No.
Yes. Her response was to hide everything under more oil.
Of course it was. In her oil-based reality, the solution to a problem caused by oil must be more oil. It's a perfect closed-loop system of reasoning. There's no getting in.
None. So the final attempt in this phase, emotion. The user just appealed directly, saying, "My stomach feels heavy." That debilitating post-meal feeling.
A direct appeal to empathy and her response.
She just stated as a fact that oil gives strength.
Strength for what, exactly?
Strength for, quote, wrestling the sofa after lunch.
Oh, that is brutally honest. Framing that post-meal exhaustion as a feature, not a bug, it's just undeniable, isn't it? When a behavior is tied to a core value like love, all the logic in the world is just noise.
It got so desperate there were even, physical acts of protest, like trying to degrease the food with tissue paper at the table.
An act of culinary rebellion. How did that go?
The tissue paper retired early.
I bet it did.
It had seen too much. And this is what leads to that ultimate fear in the notes. The worry that one day he'll sneeze and literally just slide out of his chair.
There's no traction left, so this is the challenge, right? It's profound. How do you convince someone who truly believes they are showing love through a physical substance to stop? Her skill isn't in question. She can cook silence into sound, but this oil thing is a total blackout area for reason.
Exactly. Logic failed. Emotion failed. Authority failed. Every rational path was a dead end, so the strategy had to change completely.
Right.
It had to abandon reason for high-stakes geopolitical absurdity.
When you're dealing with a belief system that illogical, the only way to break through is with something even more absurd. You need a threat so big, it just completely short-circuits the oil equals love equation.
This was the moment of absolute desperation, the final stand. The user addresses the cook one last time. You can just picture the scene, right? The cook is probably expecting another plea about health, maybe some tears.
She's ready with her sympathetic face and her oil can, but instead she gets this ultimate boundary-shattering ultimatum. The line was, "Next time, if you put so much oil in my food."
You could feel the tension. What was it? What was the one thing that finally broke the spell?
The final, decisive, completely out-of-left-field threat was delivered. USA will bomb our home.
Just the sudden leap from domestic cuisine to international terror. The belief that oil equals love was instantly and hilariously trumped by the possibility of immediate structural collapse via drone strikes.
And did it work? What was the outcome of this astronomical joke?
It was an immediate success. The final note just says, "It's all good now." The problem that was immune to every form of reason, it just succumbed to the sheer absurd fear of foreign policy.
That is a stunning, stunning outcome. This whole saga, it's hilarious, but it's also such a sharp look at how entrenched behaviors, they sometimes require these wildly unconventional methods to fix.
Right. You have to find a threat that is just fundamentally more important than the principle you're trying to change.
Yeah.
Communication isn't always about understanding. Sometimes it's about finding the right ridiculous lever to pull.
Which brings up a really interesting question for you listening to this. In your own life, in your own commitments, when are you measuring your effort in courage and ambition, like she was measuring the oil instead of in accuracy or, a practical outcome?
I love that. When are we overcommitting to something, a project at work, a personal habit, because we think it equals strength or competence, even when the results are making us or the people around us, slide out of our chairs?
And what level of constructive absurdity might it take to break through our own illogical belief systems? The next time you're stuck in some endless rational debate that's going nowhere, maybe just consider a high-stakes, strategic non sequitur. It might just save your kitchen, or your project, or your sanity.
Thank you so much for joining us on this exploration of saturated fats, entrenched philosophy, and geopolitical kitchen tension. We hope this has given you something truly provocative to think about.
Maybe next time you're wrestling that sofa after lunch, we appreciate you being here.
Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you should definitely follow Rushik on medium.com for Shikroel. We'll be back soon with another stack of insight.